All right, let's talk about something that can make or break you in a high-pressure exam. Speed. Today, we're diving into mental multiplication. We're going to build a toolkit of hacks that will help you solve problems not just correctly, but way, way faster than you thought possible. So let's get right into it. So take a look at this problem on your screen. In a real exam, that clock is just ticking down, right? What's your first instinct? Are you reaching for a pen and paper to do it the long way? Well, hold that thought. Let's see if we can find a much, much better way. And here's the thing. That's the core issue, isn't it? The traditional math we all learned in school. It's solid, but it's just too slow for these super competitive tests like the SSE or banking exams. Every single second you can shave off a calculation is another second you get to spend on a different question. It all adds up. So in this explainer, we're not just going to solve a few problems. No, we are building a mental toolkit together. Think of each slide as a new, powerful tool you can pull out to just dismantle complex multiplication problems and absolutely beat that clock. Okay, our very first tool, and honestly, it's the foundation for so many others, is all built around the number 1000. If you can really understand its properties, you unlock some of the fastest shortcuts out there.
Let's start with a classic example. 96 times 125. Now, this might look a little intimidating at first glance, but with the tool we're about to learn, it becomes ridiculously simple.
And here is that tool, the 125 rule. This is an absolute golden trick, especially if you're taking banking exams where this pops up all the time. The rule is dead simple. 125 is just 1,000 divided by 8, so we can swap out a really hard multiplication for a super easy division. We just follow two quick steps. First, you take the other number, in this case 96, and just divide it by 8. That gives us 12. Easy enough, right? Second, you multiply that result by 1,000. So 12 becomes 12,000. And just like that, boom, we have our answer, 12,000. See what happened there? What looked like a complicated multi-step multiplication was actually solved with a simple division you could do in your head. Reframing the problem is the secret to incredible speed. Now, the really cool thing is, this idea goes way beyond just the number 125. It's a whole family of shortcuts. See a number multiplied by 250? Don't panic. Just divide by 4 and add 3 zeros. Multiplying by 25? That's just divide by 4 and multiply by 100. It's the same powerful logic, just applied in slightly different ways. All right, tool number 2 for your toolkit. Let's look at a totally different kind of problem. You know those tricky numbers that are just shy of a big, round, friendly number, like 99 or 999? Well, we call this the smart subtraction trick. Take a look at this one, 999 times 64. The source material points out that this is a super common pattern in SSC exams. It's basically designed to be a time waster if you try to tackle it the old-fashioned way. So, on the left, you see the slow way, that multi-step calculation that's just a nightmare under pressure. But look to the right, that's the smart way. You stop seeing the number 999, and you train your brain to see 1,000 minus 1 instead. And that one little shift changes everything. Why? Because if 999 is just 1,000 minus 1, then multiplying it by 64 is the same as saying 1,000 times 64 minus 1 times 64. We're turning a difficult multiplication into a subtraction you can literally do in your head. 64,000 minus 64. And there it is, our answer, 63,936. Notice that transformation again? We took a problem that would have had you carrying numbers and doing multiple steps, and we turned it into one simple subtraction. Done. And this isn't just for nines. You can apply this awesome subtraction trick to any number that's close to a nice round base. Trying to solve 112 times 48? Don't multiply by 48, that's tough. Instead, think of it as multiplying by 50, and then just subtracting two groups of 112. It's all about finding the path of least resistance. Okay, you've got the foundational tools in your belt. You're ready to level up. The really tough questions, the ones that separate the good from the great, often require you to combine these tricks. This is where you really start to fly. Here we go. A level 3 problem, the kind you'd see in the high-speed banking exams. 875 times 48. This one looks pretty nasty, doesn't it? But if you have the right tools, you can break it down piece by piece. So here's how a pro looks at this. First, they don't see 48. They see its factors. They see 6 times 8. Now, step 2, this is where the magic happens. A pro has a key fact just memorized. 875 times 8 is a clean 7,000. Once you know that, the final step becomes a piece of cake. Just calculate 7,000 times 6. And I want you to look at this because this is a direct quote from the source material for a very good reason. This specific fact, 875 times 8 equals 7,000, isn't just a random fact. It's a power tool. Committing this one little equation to memory will save you critical time on so many different types of problems.
So, we have added some seriously effective tools to your multiplication toolkit today. Let's do a final check, just to make sure they're all sharpened and ready for you to use when that clock starts ticking.
Think of this slide as your ultimate cheat sheet. These are the golden rules for speed. But, at the heart of all these little rules is one big idea. Don't solve the problem you're given. No, transform it into an easier one. You see 125, you think divide by 8. You see 99, you think subtraction. The core strategy is to always simplify by using a friendly base like 100 or 1,000. That is the key takeaway.
By really making these rules second nature, you move from feeling stressed out by the clock to feeling totally empowered. This isn't just about learning a few tricks. It's about fundamentally changing how you look at numbers. You are now equipped to solve these problems with speed, with confidence, and most importantly, with accuracy. So, you've got the multiplication toolkit down, but the world of mental math is huge. What's next? Should we do division shortcuts? Square roots? Let us know in the comments what challenge you want us to break down in our next explainer.